12:40 Eastern.
I love this, actually.
This will force more changes to next week's schedule. The Pittsburgh and Washington game that was originally on Sunday will now be played on Monday at 5 Eastern. And the Baltimore-Dallas game that has been pushed, what was on Monday, has now been pushed to Tuesday at 8 Eastern on Fox.
So by the way,
track of all that.
so I get Lamar Jackson and the Ravens against the Dallas Cowboys next Tuesday.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to be unhappy with that?
Oh, no, I love it.
I'm
the players
deliriously
are probably extremely frustrated, and the coaches, I'm sure, hate it because this is, it's completely routine changing, but this is the world that we're living in. Like, everyone has to make adjustments, and that's what this season has been. Like, teams that are able to make adjustments and figure those things out, this is what the world is. Like, everyone is trying to figure things out on the fly, and the NFL's done an amazing job of moving all these things around and, trying to protect the players, giving them time to recover, and also not have to extend the season. They're trying to get all the games played without having to extend the season. Now, Ravens running backs Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins will now be eligible to play against the Steelers because their 10-day isolation period is over. However, they're still going to be without Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Willie Snead, Calais Campbell, and Matt Jodun. So they're still without a lot of key players, but it is good that they're getting those two running backs back. Finally, Jared Goff obviously struggled taking care of the ball. He's been struggling recently with
a real
that.
fumble issue in the last month.
Yes. In the Rams' last two losses to the Dolphins and Steelers, he had 7 total turnovers. But Sean McVay says he never considered benching his quarterback.
Of course.
If I thought it was going to be the best thing to just take a deep breath and step away, then I'd say, maybe, but not in either of those situations, because both of those reflected, kind of having an opportunity where there was enough plays made to get back in it. And so yesterday, that was never part of the consideration, nor was it really for Miami, to answer your question.
Guys.
By the way, he's 40-18 as a starter under McVay.
Let's just slow down. Slow it down. Bench Jared Goff, which is what we're talking about.
40-18 in the toughest division in football.
Listen, I am an extremely impatient person.
Yeah.
Okay. Ridiculously impatient. However, I do think it's important to maintain some level of self-awareness. Benching Jared Goff. Okay. For who? You want to know who? Would you like me to read their backups credentials for you, Colin? It's John Wolford.
Oh, I love him.
Me too. No regular season NFL experience. Was signed as an undrafted free agent to the Jets in 2018 and played in 1 preseason game.
Oh, that's the option.
He played in the AAF in 2019 for the Arizona Hotspots.
Oh, those games were on pay-per-view. I watched every one of them.
And joined the Rams in 2019 after the AAF suspended operations and played in 4 preseason games. Bench Jared Goff. Guys, I don't know anyone who's fabulous all the time, and I'm about as close as it gets.
By the way, a week ago, I watched him play Brady, and he made a bunch of good plays and stuff against Tampa. The same defense that ate Aaron Rodgers alive, Goff faced him and beat him. It was pretty good.
I think we're just getting a little bit crazy with the moving off the quarterbacks thing. Like, you're going to have bad games. You're going to have bad spells.
Right.
There's adjustments and things you're going to make. Everyone's not going to be fantastic all the time.
Derek Carr, who we all like now, has had bad years. Like back-to-back bad years, and now we all like him. Like, this is the hardest position in sports, quarterback.
Did you see Sunday? It was a disaster. Sometimes you just have a bad day or a bad couple of weeks. It's how it goes. Bench Jared Goff.
Absurd. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news. This is the Herd Line News.
The Texans will be without wide receiver Will Fuller and corner Bradley Roby for the remainder of the 2020 season. Both have been suspended 6 games for PED violations. Will be out the rest of this year, and missed the first game of 2021. Fuller announced on Instagram that he was suspended after taking what he said was prescribed medication that he thought was permissible. Roby also released a statement saying he unknowingly used a product that was contaminated with a banned substance by the NFL. So no one knows how they got, they know where they got them, but they didn't know that they were banned by the NFL. So they will both be out for 6 games. Another loss for Deshaun Watson, obviously.
Who's playing great, by the way.
Playing great. But
the winner is Miami.
Yes.
The Miami Dolphins, when you're well run, it seems like you get all these crazy breaks. And when you're poorly run, it seems like you can't get one. So Miami has Houston's first-round pick, and Houston now will probably lose games, more of them, and guess who benefits? The Miami Dolphins will now have another great pick.
Yeah, I mean, now, obviously, the Dolphins couldn't have predicted that Will Fuller and Roby would be suspended for the final 6 games.
But
However,
when you're well-run and make the right trades, you benefit from them.
Luck favors the prepared.
Yes.
And that is where the Dolphins are right now. But I do feel bad for Deshaun Watson. It feels like there's always something. And, I really hope that this does. I hope that they're able to turn things around in Houston for his sake, because I do think he has a lot of potential, and I'd hate to see his career squandered by a terribly run organization.
He's had a great last month. Yeah, he's not the issue.
He's not the issue.
But you know what, Joy? We've said this. Sometimes it's not fair. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. He goes to a team without an owner that's not an attractive free agent market. It's not fair. It's reality. Tony Romo gets undrafted. Tony Romo goes to Dallas. The offensive line gets great about the time he gets hurt, and Dak gets the great offensive line. And by the way, Kansas City Mahomes gets Andy Reid, great weapons, and a great GM. And Deshaun Watson now doesn't have a real coach. Well, he's got an interim coach, and the GM was the coach. And so it's just like life. Brady got very lucky. Owner, defense, O-line, coach. And that's why Brady won a bunch. And by the way, Joe Montana got lucky. But the reality is, what if Troy Aikman doesn't get Jimmy Johnson as a coach? Troy Aikman is Troy Aikman, who was 9-7 most of his career. I feel bad for Deshaun, but this is the way the NFL works.
Yeah, life's not fair.
It's not.
I think he has the potential. He's a great player. He has the potential to be spectacular if he was in a situation that was functional and they could put the right pieces around him and get things stable. This is just another example of what happens in Houston, and it's going to directly affect him and benefit the Dolphins. So the Ravens and Steelers game